How do you think churches talk way too much about money? Sometimes, because it's tithe, give, tithe, we've got these financial problems. First of all, I think a church running correctly probably shouldn't have financial problems. I think they overextend themselves just like everybody else in this current culture. They build buildings under the premise of, we'll build a big, huge, new, exciting building. People will come in and we'll take and pay for it once they start giving. I don't believe in that. I believe you pay as you go. That's the way we would have not overextended ourselves. And then the pastor doesn't have to beg for money every Sunday. Amen? But we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about mastering your own money first, because mastering money becomes with the individual. And first of all, let me just clarify this. I am learning to master my money. We didn't graduate a class and, oh, now we know everything, and we're debt-free, and no, we're in the process. We're learning just like everybody has to go through. But I got the privilege of watching listening to John's service, because I wasn't here last Sunday. And I loved how he talked about how God owns everything. Remember when he talked about God owns everything? I like when he shared about the chicken. The chicken can't say to the farmer, you own me, but these eggs are mine. You know, because those eggs, everything that chicken is originated with that farmer. And so we can't say that to God. We can't say, well, I earned this. Well, he was the one that gave me the job to earn, so that's not really my money. He's given it to me so I can use it. He talked about being godliness with contentment, and how some of the problems we run into financially is because we aren't content. If we were content with what we have, we aren't longing for that other thing, and we're less likely to get into that, going after that thing that we think will make us happy. Because if God can't make you happy, nothing on this earth is going to make you happy. It might be fun, but it will not make you happy. It will not bring you peace. We talk about you can build a home, but you can have a house, but not a home. That the home comes from God. And we can't be arrogant with what God has given us. Somehow, God's been carrying us for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden, we got this, God. We'll take it from here.
Right.
Once we get the good job, the good car, and everything's ready, we're going to, oh, yeah, I got it from here, God. I don't need to acknowledge you anymore, God. That's not a place to be. So, as I was preparing this message this morning, I was talking about mastering your money. I saw a very interesting scripture. And it says Ecclesiastes 10:19. And in Ecclesiastes 10:19 it says, men prepare a meal for enjoyment, and wine makes life merry, and money is the answer to everything. Now that sounds kind of weird to say money is the answer to everything. But what Solomon was saying in this scripture is money can become, is a very unique thing. It can become whatever it needs to be. Like, for example, if I went to the South Center Mall and I dropped a $50 bill on the floor at South Center Mall, how many think it would make it out of the mall? It would become food for some people at the food court. It would become a beautiful pair of shoes for some girl at the mall. It might become gas for somebody's car. It might become a video game. It might become, but it can become all those things. And that's the thing, and where we run into trouble is when we take what it was supposed to be for and use it for something else. I mean, your tithe can become the meal. Or part of your rent. But that's the versatility of money. Men prepare a meal for enjoyment, wine makes life merry, money is the answer to everything. Meaning it can become what you need it to be, and that's why. I would personally like to see, can you imagine if that $50 was laying there, somebody grabs it and says, you're going right into my 401k. And you're going to invite all your friends to this 401k compounding interest party. Not likely, because they've done a great job convincing us we need something right now at this moment. I have to have it now. I can't wait. Amen. But we talked about that. Just a few questions this morning. Is losing $1 a week okay financially? No. You're getting ahead of me. You know where I'm going. You're saying it's just $1 a week. No, but Tom wants me to say, no, that's not acceptable. After 2 years at $1 a day, that comes to about $100. 2 years, $100, that's not much, considering how much money goes through your hands once a week. Is that acceptable? It's less acceptable when you see it adding up, right? If it's acceptable to lose that amount, you got a crisp $100 bill here.
Yeah.
No, wait. Is that mine or yours?
Now, I just generated an emotional response from my wife and from a lot of people. Because how many would have been very angry with me if I had burned that?
Yeah.
And because you know what money could have done for somebody instead of burning it up, right?
Amen.
That could have bought somebody a lot of groceries or gas to get to work next week or a battery for their car or whatever. That's what it is. And so I'm going to talk about this morning about how are we losing money that could help other people. It says in Haggai 1:6, you have sown much, but harvest little. You eat, but there is not enough to be satisfied. You drink, but there is not enough to become drunk. You put on clothing, but there is no one warm enough. And he who earns wages to put in the purse with holes, says the Lord. Folks, consider your ways. Now, this is not a consider your ways. This is think about what you're doing.
Yes.
God is not rebuking. He's not mad at people. He's saying, I just need you to pay attention to what's going on in your financial life. I want you to consider how you handle money. I don't want you to put money in a bag with holes in it. God provides ways to earn money, but it's our job to manage the money. Do you agree?
Amen.
Because think about it. What if God blessed you with hundreds and hundreds of extra dollars this year? And your bag has so many holes in it, it just goes out. ATM fees, late bank fees. Just a quick little side note. You know that about 1/3 of the bank's income is overdraft fees, late fees. Do you think the bank is mad at you when you write a check and they have to charge you $25? Or 30? Hey, the bank doesn't mind you writing bad checks. They don't mind when you go to the ATM 4 times a week instead of 1. Because, hey, every time you go there, it costs you $3, $5, $6, whatever. They don't mind. They aren't mad at you. They make a huge amount of revenue off that. That's a huge amount of revenue for them for you not paying attention to your money. And it adds up. And I mean, think about that $1 a week times 10. So say it was $10 a week. What that could add up to. What that could have done for somebody or in a situation. So we're going to go after those lost pennies. We're going to find ways to seal up the holes in our purse this morning. And to tell you that the Bible is serious about this, Luke 15:8 says, what woman, if she has 10 silver coins and loses 1 coin, does not light the lamp and sweep the house and search carefully until she finds it? When she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors and says, rejoice with me, I've found the coin which thou hast lost. I guarantee, if you called me up and you said, Tom, I balanced my checkbook and I figure out where that money was going. I was losing money every single week and I got my finances dialed in to where I'm not losing any money anymore. I know exactly where every dime is. I would rejoice with you. Because I know that you are on the path to more blessing. Because God can't bless. If you're out of order, He can't bless. He can only bless a certain amount. But if He knows it's just going out, God doesn't want to bless the bank. He wants to bless you.
That's right.
Again in Scripture, it says, so He told them this parable, saying, what man among you, if he has 100 sheep and has lost one of them, does not leave the 99 in the open pasture and go after the one which was lost until he finds it? Meaning, God is saying about, you need to pay attention to everything. Sheep back then was revenue. A person, how many flocks they had, we have dollar bills now. They had sheep then, because you can't carry around sheep with me. You can't say, hey, can I have a latte? Here's 2 sheep. Because where does the latte stand for the sheep? So you couldn't. So you keep the 99 safe, of course, and then you go after, look for that. That's a biblical principle about how we are to manage the resources God has given us. Amen?
Amen.
But before you go somewhere, before you can know where you're going, you have to know where you've been. Do we know where we've been? Whoa, where did that go? It grew wings. Money also has the ability to leave us, because money has to have a purpose. If you have $10 in your pocket and you don't have a design for that $10, it will find a way to leave your wallet. I guarantee it. Now, if you have a way saying this is gassed, it will become gassed. But money will become even things you don't want it to become if you don't have a purpose for it. It will become somebody else's very quickly. If your paycheck was short and your work cut towards wide, would that be acceptable? Say your check's $13 or $14 or $20 short. And you went into the finance lady or the finance gentleman at your work, and you said, I'm looking at my check stub, and my check is short. That's clearly short of what I believe is supposed to be based on my calculations. And that person said, I know it is. And I can't tell you why. I don't know what we did wrong. Would that be acceptable? You'd be pretty mad, wouldn't you? I know I would be. If a person was fixing your car and couldn't tell you why it cost $100 more, would that be acceptable? No. If they could tell you, if they said, well, Tom, I was fixing your brakes, and it turns out your calipers are all messed up. So they cost $100 more to fix that. That, okay, it's acceptable, but what if the guy said, I don't know. I quoted you $400, and now it's $500. I don't know what we did. I don't know what we bolted on. I don't know what we took off. But I don't know. Just pay us the money. Would you pay him?
No.
I mean, no, you don't get to do that to me. You don't get to do that to me. You don't get to tell me it cost $100 more when you quoted me a price and not give me a logical explanation why. If you have a friend who needs help and you can't help them because you don't know where your money went, is that acceptable? You should have the same emotional response to that situation as you had when I was about to burn $100, saying, no, this is not right. This is not something we do, especially as Christians. Managing money the Bible is filled with scriptures on it. It's important. There are three things that are truly important. You see, I can be a really crappy softball player, and it does not matter. I can enjoy it. I don't have to be a professional softball player or baseball player. I can be bad at that, and it's okay. I can be a moderately bad swimmer, and as long as I'm not swimming in the ocean, that's all right. But there are three things basically I need to become a master of. Spiritual. I have to have a mastery of the spiritual life of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
It's important. It's eternal.
Right.
Health. I need to get my health dialed in because every day I don't dial it in.
Yeah.
Like Rico said, your health suffers if you don't take care of it.
Yes.
Because that's your very life. That's your breath.
Right.
And money, because this is how we deal with this life by paying our rent and all that. You need to have a mastery of it.
Yes.
Because to not have a mastery of it means I might as well cut a hole in my back pocket and have dollar bills fall out as I walk through this life.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's right.
And that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
Amen?
Amen.
Brace yourself for a horrible word. When I say the word, I know it's horrible. It would be a four-letter word if it didn't have more letters. Budget. Proverbs 6:7 says, go to the annals, sluggard. Observe her ways and be wise, which having no chief, officer, or ruler, prepares her food in the summer and gathers provision in the harvest. We need to be gathering and preparing and have mastery over this. I'm going to show you a quick way to do it. You can take notes, or you can have a slide later. Maybe I'll print off the slide if you ask. If you are a techie guy, you like the phone, the smartphone stuff, Dave Ramsey has an every dollar budget. It's free. You go to Dave Ramsey website, Every dollar budget, it's free, you plug in the numbers, it does the calculations for you, and you can see online how you're doing. You can have your bank statement in a window and have this, and you can just go through, and you don't have to break out a pen and paper that way. But if you do it the old-fashioned way, pen and paper, first you need a bank statement for your last month, or 30 days. Going from like Monday to the Monday the following month, or Monday a month ago. Then you're gonna write down the bills that are set amount, rent, car, insurance, anything that has a set dollar amount. I paid this much a month for my water, I paid this much a month for rent, I paid this much a month for car insurance. Make a list of things you buy that change your month, coffee, gas, entertainment. And you're gonna write down 2 numbers on that, what you think you spend, and what you actually spend. Actual amount you're spending, because I guarantee you, most of you, you're gonna save some money this week if you do this, because you're gonna say, wow, I thought I spent $25 a week on coffee, turns out I'm spending $35. By the way, just a little side note, McDonald's was one of the first restaurants to put in the debit card machines at their restaurant. And they didn't just do that because they like you and they want to make it easy for you. They're a corporation. They're there to make money. They found out after market research that a person using their debit card at McDonald's spends average 42% more than a person paying with cash. In other words, if I went in, I had every intention of spending $10. If I spend $10 in cash, I can't spend more than $10.
Right.
But that person who's had every intention of spending $10 for lunch spent $14.20 on the debit card because they didn't feel the money leaving.
Yeah, come on, that's right.
42% more. That's a lot of lost money over the course of a couple of years. Decide how much money you want to spend in each of these categories. If you decide, and I don't make judgments on how you live your life. If you want to spend $25 a week on coffee, spend $25 a week on coffee. But don't spend $28 and think you're only spending $25. If you like buying music, say I buy $50 worth of music a month, but don't buy $75 and think, oh, I only spent $50. It's your money. It's your value, what you deem. I just don't want to see it leaking out holes in your purse. After your bills are paid, every dollar left should have a name, a category it will be used for. So say you do your budget and you end up with $50 at the end of that pay period that is unspoken for. Make it spoken for. Like I said before, $50 without an assignment will find a place to go. It's like giving a teenager free time. It's like going on a tour with teenagers and saying, well, from 2 to 6 o'clock, you're on your own. That's free time. You can do whatever you want. How good of an idea is that? I mean, seriously, come on. They will find something to do, and it might not be. Now, if you say from 2 to 6 o'clock, you're going to be in this arcade, okay, you know where they're at least. Okay? But money will do the same thing. Money is like a disobedient teenager. It will find something to do if you don't give it something to do. No offense, you guys aren't like that. But what I mean is that you need to give it an assignment. It needs to have a purpose. It might be 401k, it might be savings, it might be building a savings account. It might be, I ran short, think about the things that you run short on. Oh, every month I tend to run short on gas money toward the end of the month. Well, if that extra 50, then get a $50 gas card and have that sitting there on your dashboard, and toward the end of the week, oh, cool, I can fill up my gas tank. Over a while, that will keep rolling over and over, and that will become more than that, because it will have an assignment. Does this make sense to anybody?
Yeah.
All right. Matthew 25:21 said, his master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I'll put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Amen?
Amen.
God's saying, I'm going to bless you if you get this in order. He's provided for us, and he will always provide for us. His blessings are deemed basic. He gives out blessings based on how we can contain blessing. And if we can't contain a blessing, he's not gonna open up that door. He can't, because why, God is a good master with money. He's not gonna give money if it's just gonna fall out of your purse.
Yeah.
Not on that. Amen?
Amen.